It's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the member show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, you gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Monson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. Look at this place. Where's my Eggs Benedict? And my coffee? And my pastel de natas? And my fresh fruit juice? And my pancakes with fresh fruit? I'm not in the storytellers this morning. That was fantastic yesterday morning. And I went back there for a second time yesterday. Got a call. We're in the area, Carl. Can you help us find a house in the area? Well, okay, yeah. Meet you in the storyteller. So lovely to meet you. Chuck and Emily over from California yesterday. Lovely to walk the marginal with you and meet you and say hi. Yes, great to make your acquaintance. Muito prazer. How are you this morning? How's it going? Do let me know how you're doing in the chat. We've got a packed show this morning. We are saying thank you and goodbye. Oh, yes. And where's my cameraman? This is rubbish. We have got a packed show. And we're saying thank you and goodbye to Ali, Snapshot Ali. That sounds like a street of photography shops, doesn't it? Snapshot Alley, or she's a gangster called Snapshot Alley. She will be here, the Algarve magazine Snapshot. She'll be telling you about future plans and why she'll be saying goodbye for the time being. I don't think it's like the Hotel California, although Fabrizio, who's also joining me this morning, Fabrizio and Ian joining us, the lads who we met in Lisbon, they've got plans which are changing, so they won't be joining us. You leave, but you never go, or is it the other way around with the Hotel California? However, when I explained that to Fabrizio, he said it's actually a drugs reference of addiction. I don't mean it quite in such a negative and awkward way, but you know what I mean. Once a gumper, always a gumper. Good morning to you, Pete. Good morning to you, T-Duck. Antonio F is here as well, as is Matty with the Bon Dia Alegria. E feliz quinta-feira da minha quinta. This is what Mr. S wanted yesterday. More Portuguese in the chat, so keep it coming. This is excellent, a good balance, nothing too complicated, or we might just alienate and terrify beginners. But beginners Portuguese in the chat is fantastic. James is here with that. Bom dia, Gumpers. Feliz quinta a todos, como estão? Muito obrigado. Muito bem contigo, James. And Coach Turner, bom dia a todos e feliz quinta. Off to grandchildren's carol concert this afternoon. Hopefully my... There's looking on the bright side. Hopefully my ears will survive, right? So we've got Ali, Fabrizio, and Ian joining us in a little while. No, don't worry, Ali, not just yet. Carry on making your cup of coffee. No sugar for me. So yes, we'll talk to them in just a moment, find out what their plans are as we generally shake things up, actually, at Good Morning Portugal, looking at an earlier start in the new year and a few other changes as we go into 2025, which I think is going to be quite an interesting year for humanity. And we'll be right by your side to face all those interesting changes and the rather intense evolution of humanity, I suppose, would be one way of looking at it. Bon dia to you, Pam, who reminded me that this morning is World Volunteering Day. We've got a couple of international days to celebrate. This one from Pam, Dia Internacional do Voluntario, 5 de Dezembro. That is a great day. Oh, well, ReFood Alcobaça. ReFood is one of those places. Perhaps, Pam, if you've got a general link so that people can find out how to volunteer for ReFood. We hate food waste. We make sure food goes to people who need it. I think at ReFood is the basic idea. And that's a great way to integrate with your local community. Go and help out at a food bank type operation project. And Pam might tell us a bit more about that. So it's International Day of the Volunteer, this very day, the 5th of December. It's also, where's the overlay? There we go. That's why I was naked without it earlier on. We've also got International Soil Day, I found out from one of our regular contributors over at Food, Wine and Fun Times. That's Quinta do Sampaio. It's World Soil Day as well, apparently. So go ahead, soil yourself for all you're worth this morning. Maybe that's not the idea with Soil Day. Let's find out what's going on. To celebrate this day, Sampaio Farm organizes a groundbreaking event in the region and of viniculture. Viniculture, they're saying that it's an opportunity. Maybe that's something I'm not aware of. Viniculture, but I think we get the gist. It's an opportunity to explore how technological solutions can transform agriculture into a pillar of environmental and economic sustainability. Yeah, we did pick up on that, didn't we, on the criticism of the wine industry. But luckily, our minister for wine here in Portugal pushed back. Moderation. And talking of drinking, I got stopped and breathalyzed yesterday. I'd like to tell you more about that later on in the show. Yeah, that was a very interesting experience yesterday. Clearly, it was fine. I'm not in jail, and I'm not having a GoFundMe to be bailed out of anywhere. I was stopped in Caldas de Rainha, and I think it's useful to talk about it so that you're prepared for an encounter with the Portuguese police force. They checked my documents and checked me out, and then took me behind a van. Mrs. M was terrified. I disappeared for a little while as they said, "Could come with me, please." Took me behind a van with other gentlemen. It was at that point that Mrs. M got quite scared. Anyway, let me just finish off. I'll tell you more about that later on after we finish chatting with Ali and Fabrizio and Ian here. We've got environmentally friendly practices, sustainable practices with the participation of students from the Santarém Agricultural School, strengthening the link between academia and innovation, showing the importance of preparing future generations of agricultural professionals to face the challenges of sustainability and climate change, whilst, I think, to be fair, making excellent wine. So there you go. There's a few infographics there. Well done, Quinta do Sampaio, who are making something of World Soil Day today. So you can go and see them. I'll put their website in case you want to find out more about them. It's a Tejo wine, the Tejo district, Santarém. If you want to find out more about them, I will put that into the chat for you right now. And we'll say good morning to Fabrizio and Ian and Ali in just a moment after I've shared that link with you. Who else has joined us? Peter's here as well now. Oh, it's so boring, isn't it? When you want to share a Facebook link and you get about 3 pages of code to go with it so that Facebook can take all the credit and track you forevermore for the next 3 generations. There you go. I've cleaned that up for you, and that's going onto the chat now. Good morning to you, Pete, as well, this morning. Mattis Fregzia has been asking on Facebook to not park in front of, very local announcement here. Please do not park in front of the village church on the 7th of December, because they will start piling the wood for the bonfire. That's an important announcement there. You need to let us know which village church we shouldn't be parked in front of, I think, there. And if you get stopped and they ask if you have any drugs or alcohol, the correct answer is, what do you need? I don't think that's true. That might get you in a situation where you need a bailing out GoFundMe. And that's why, look, Coach Turner, for you, take some earmuffs with you to the children's concert. Stop it. There you go. Oh, I've got cold ears. Sorry, nothing personal. Right, let's give him a nice big round of applause. We didn't have this button yesterday. It's Ali. Alice, Fabrizio and Ian.
Hi.
How are you? I need to find a way of framing this so we can see everybody. There we go. Gents, if you squeeze up nice and close to each other, there you'll be in the frame together. Ali, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Can I check I've got the right microphone today?
You sound great. You
Good.
sound great. But none of that table banging, all right? Because you get carried away and you start banging the table, don't you? So
no, I jump around a lot. What can I say?
That would be very good. Lovely to see you this morning.
You too, my dear.
Morning, Ian, Fabrizio. Good morning, chaps. Not in your usual place, and we'll find out more about that and why, I think, in a little while. How are you, first of all? They're good. Are you not talking today? You're just nodding. Are we all just interpretive dance rather than actual fully formed dancers? Yes? They're not talking. I think, Ali, do you think they're in an Airbnb where they can't make too much noise for fear of getting thrown out?
They could be like in a toilet or somewhere. We don't know, do we?
That doesn't mean they can't speak, unless they don't want to bring attention to themselves. That they're live streaming from a
incommunicado. Yeah, they're secret.
They really are not. Are you really not going to speak for this, chaps? They're not, are they?
No.
Maybe they can't hear. Maybe they can't hear us. When you're ready to speak, feel free to speak. I think there's a little bit of a technical difficulty. And look, some reassurance from T-Duck there. Sounds great, Ali. So that's great. Now it's fond farewell morning. The parting is such sweet sorrow. You have there's some Italian gesturing going on.
Yeah. I can interpret that one if you want.
You what that meant?
Yeah.
Right. You've given such fantastic service to the Good Morning Portugal show. You just took it for granted. Here you were every first Thursday of the month with Snapshot magazine and our own special edition. I felt very special. Storytellers yesterday, every other month, every month at the beginning of the month, my own special copy of Snapshot. And you're having a little bit of a rest, right? That's why we're parting, at least for the time being. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, not so much a rest. I just feel it's taken up quite a lot of time, obviously.
Yeah.
And I feel really guilty because I've got so many people love reading it and have sent me such really nice messages saying they're going to miss it, which is nice.
Yes.
I just feel next year is a time. I took some really good advice where someone said, if you want to start doing something new, you actually have to stop doing some other things and you have to actually leave just some space, some complete open time where new things can come in, because otherwise you're full up and you can't actually start, progressing with the new things that you want to do. So difficult decision though it was, it felt the right one, and I feel quite comfortable and happy. I'm still going to send a little email out every month with a kind of catch up of what we've been up to. But the whole Snapshot just kept growing as well. I mean, over 100 pages every month. Was
created a monster.
No, I did.
And it can happen, I think, when you have a beloved publication. It is hard to know when to stop, isn't it? And it's very consuming, and you have to strike a balance. And that was... Oh, are they there?
There they are.
We can hear you.
Now, before you start.
Look at this victory lap. It's like they discovered the cure for the common cold. Yes.
Yeah, well, the start of this cure was cleaning the laptop keyboard.
Oh, was it? Be careful. So hazardous waste to be taken out after the show. How? We'll come back to you in just a moment, Ali, to find out more, because that's great advice that person gave you. How are you, gentlemen?
We're good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes.
Right. Okay. And you have a slightly different scenario there. I think you're mid-moving. Changes are afoot. Would you like to tell us why the sweet sorrow of parting is happening for us as well? And I'm beginning to think I'm the only one staying here, so it might be something to do with me. But Fabrizio and Ian, what's going on in your world?
Well, we actually not in the position to commit all the time, like for a regular slot. That's why we kind of live in this as a more of a once in a while we will probably take part of we will put a topic forward when we got to, but we committed to a new contract with a company that we work with. So in the morning we will be at the office.
Yes.
And we're moving home because we
loads going on. Right. Okay. So yes, you may have seen the wonderful webinar that we did together where we looked at the lovely home in Lisbon. Do you want to say more about where you're off to?
Yeah, so I guess how this started was the fact that we had a little place as well in Stubble, which we were going to actually rent out. And then over this summer, which was the first year we would have had it, we didn't rent it. We stayed there a bit more. And we also were reassessing where we are now. And I think that came across in the webinar. And of course, now we decided to move on to here. So this one is sold. We don't technically have somewhere to move to at the moment.
Wow, that's exciting.
Getting closer. But I think so we are now, in fact, probably going to move to Setúbal permanently.
Are you? Wow. Okay. And I was going to ask you how you pronounce it.
Setúbal.
Do you have a pet name like Stoobs or anything like that for it as well?
When you see it written, it's always just written as STB, like so.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah,
Sounds something that you can catch on a Friday night.
It does, doesn't it? Have you got anything for my STB? However, let's not. We can clear that up really quickly these days. It sounds very exciting, and I think part of the foreigner's journey, if you like, because you're very on trend. I think it's fair to say. You moved to Lisbon and discovered Lisbon and were hanging out in Lisbon at a very exciting time. And now that's you're putting that behind you, that particular experience, and onto the next stage, which I think is the next trend, possibly, isn't it? Is people discovering in a more sort of wholesale, wider spread way other parts of Portugal. It's not just Lisbon and Porto, and that seems to be the case for you. And you found what are you preferring a somewhat quieter life now? You've done your Lisbon years. Is it
I think it's interesting that maybe it's part of the transition, because obviously the problem with coming from somewhere like London is the fact that it is so big and there's so much there that it's very hard to sort of go to like a, you never end up, well, you probably could go to a small village in the middle of nowhere, but you think, God, what happened between the two?
Yes.
So Lisbon is, of course, much smaller, anyway, than London. I mean, it is a city, but, clearly, yes, massive difference between London and Lisbon. So that was a bit of a shock at first, and now I kind of got used to that. And I guess we're sort of downsizing again as far as places are concerned, because Setúbal, I think, is around about 200,000 people. So, again, it's another level down.
Yes.
But it has got a lot going for it, and it is still a city. I mean, we still always will end up as city people in some way. We're still going to be quite urban. And also, I mean, it's not that far away. I mean, actually, if you get the train, 45 minutes, you're in Lisbon anyway, which by London standards was what it used to take me to get to work every morning. So it's not like
absolutely,
that we are really moving such a long way away from what we know.
Yes.
And I think that was just part of the transition. I think it's probably closer to it's got some extra bits that we like. It will probably always have some bits that we'll miss, but then the bits that we miss about Lisbon, we're down the road. So, it's not such an upheaval in a way.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think, like I said, you're on trend. It's a fabulous city to go to. I suppose it's a scale where you'll start to recognise faces as well. It's not quite as anonymous as it is London or Lisbon, so it's going to be an interesting thing to adjust to. And so it sounds like you're mid-move, not exactly sure what's going to be happening. Is there nothing in your apartment apart from the wonderful picture of Frida Kahlo behind you?
Yeah, that was a great exhibition, actually. I just
But we started packing some of the more fragile stuff, because the biggest one of that move is you look around and you think, oh God, I've got all these ornaments, as you've probably noticed from various photographs.
Yes.
So we're starting to try and move some of the things and then just move those out of the way. And then I think by the start of February we have to be out of it, but it may be slightly earlier. So we're kind of already planning to move most of that stuff out of there and make the place where we are in Setúbal more livable for us.
That's
exactly, because I mean, I'm
because
guessing
it will be stored, and also it will be storage for a while. So we have to squeeze between boxes and stuff.
Okay, so hopefully not too stressful a move. You're going to be pacing yourselves, and it'll be a nice smooth transition.
For the first time in our life, and I don't think we're going to move into our building site for the first time in our life to sleep on a floor with boxes around that. So it's going to be very mature.
It is.
Very mature.
Very grown up.
Who would have thought it? Who would have thought that?
Listen, I never expected that to happen.
As a quick plug for Portugal, though, part of that is, of course, the fact that because you can agree these dates so far up front, so we know we sold this place and we know when we have to be out on, it's not like the London one where finally 3 weeks before it happened, they decided, both times we sold the place, actually, they decided that's where they wanted to move, and then it's like, shit.
What, exchanging completion on the same day?
I think because it's always close, isn't it? Or like within a few days of when you actually put deposit down to when you get it. But you never know when that date was. In both of our homes, strange enough, we sold them back Easter time.
Yeah.
And in both of them, we moved autumn time. But I mean, so there was all that delay of getting all the stuff ready for it. So there's always that panic. Whereas at least now, when we sold this one, it was on a 90-day sale, so we knew that we had 90 days to plan everything ready to move, and that's
excellent. It. But you'll be thinking to yourself, there's something missing from this process, like stress. Yes, this is fantastic. Right?
No, hang on. It's a little bit overwhelming because when I started to put stuff in a box, and then I look, and now a bomb went off because there's stuff everywhere.
Yes,
and I started to approach this with such ambition for all and method, and now it's just all over the place.
Chaos.
It was also further complicated by we decided to sell some furniture, and people bought it. It was quite surprising because normally you put them on an L sheet and for like 3 months and nothing happened. Like suddenly everybody bought things. So I was like, oh shit, somebody's going to bit up on Friday. Take everything out of there. Oops,
Fabrizio's telling you off for swearing
yes,
on the morning show.
Yes,
it's a bit rich, isn't it? But at least never grow up is T-Duck's advice. It's a trap. And Pam thinks eventually, 10 years from now, you'll be living in a log cabin miles from anywhere. This is just a progression of becoming more and more antisocial.
Or everybody will move away from us because we're not that pleasant anyway. So it will be probably the other way around.
There goes the neighborhood in Stubal. Right. Very interesting. So upheavalous times, it would seem. And that coming back to that advice, Ali, that someone said, make space in your life. It is easy, isn't it? And I was thinking that this morning. One of the overwhelming themes of our time in this part of history is people are tired a lot, aren't they? I was only thinking that because I was looking in the mirror and thinking, oh, I'm tired. And that's because I've been on binge watching Mission Impossible morning and evening with my teenage son. I've only got myself to blame. I'm not complaining, but it's like people are tired a lot, aren't they, in our time? And it's something to do with what you were saying. You can't just keep adding things to your life. So you took that advice seriously there, Ali.
Yeah, yes, I did. It really resonated with me, I think. I mean, I've joked with Dave. I mean, we used to work. I mean, he was a police officer working full shifts. I did policing for 13 years. And then I ended up with director of education, managing over 130 schools. I never saw him. I was never home. I was 70, 80 hours every week working.
Wow.
And in the midst of that, you still got the housework and the shopping and the car cleaned and all the things that we need to do. And now Dave and I laugh and it's like 4:30 every day. And I'm like, where did today go? And all I did was go shopping, or I did a few emails, and suddenly it's lunchtime. And we've joked and said, how did we actually fit that full-time work in and all those other things when suddenly those other things seem to take up our day? Maybe we're just getting older and we're doing it all a bit more slowly.
It's true, though, isn't it? I think time is speeding up as well. That's not helping, is it? But
I remember Dave's dad, I remember, I mean, he was late 70s probably. And I remember him saying to Dave, and Dave's like, don't be silly, Dad. He said, when you get older, time goes faster, son. And he was like, no. And now we're getting older and we go, he was absolutely right. Literally joke. It's 4:30 before we know it every day. And I'm like, well, where did today go? What have I done?
And I don't know if I've mentioned it yet, but I had Eggs Benedict at the Storytellers Palace yesterday for breakfast. But maybe what's going to be happening now, and that's what they asked me when I walked in, how would you like your eggs? It's a good start to any relationship, that, isn't it? And the waiter said, how would you like your eggs? Do you want them fried? Oh, yeah. Scrambled? Yeah. Benedict, yes, definitely. We'll have them like that. But I guess in time to come, if this is true, which I think it is, Ali, what you're saying is people will say, how do you like your eggs? And would you like your pajamas now as well? We'll just get everything.
Can we just stay in our pajamas all day? Is that not how we do it?
Pajamas, there you go. 4:30. No. It's December 2024. I've said this as well, says Barak. Lord and Lady Travanka are here this morning. I've said it before. I am busier and have less time now that I'm retired. So this is an understandable and recognizable phenomenon here. Why Randy is saying, try downsizing. This is another thing, isn't it? Going back to what you were saying, Fabrizio, about doing all the packing. 7-bedroom, 5-bath place you lived in for 20 years. Talk about fitting a quart into a pint pot. Sheesh. He's tired. That's what I'm talking about. People
7 bed and 5 bath, and you do your own packing.
Well, that's true, isn't it? Come on, Randy. Where's the butler? The butler should be doing that.
Usually, but with that sort of size property in England, you don't travel even with your own luggage. He will arrive before you.
That's a good point. Randy, come back to us on that. I love Eggs Benedict, but my arteries. Why? What's up with Eggs Benedict? Eggs are good for you, are they? Bacon's good for you. I suppose maybe it's that big blob of hollandaise that is the artery clogger. Perhaps that. Look, here we go. We're simple country folk. We only have a 7-bedroom house. It's really, but no butler. It's quite a simple life, really.
As long as you're not downsizing, there's as many people there.
Yes, that's right. I think there's probably only 1 or 2 bedrooms in use. And God knows what's in the other ones. Knowing by Randy, it'll be motor parts, old motorbikes, old boxing programs, all sorts of stuff in there. Cassette videos,
tapes,
VHSs and cassettes of when he used to be in a band, all that stuff. And then you have to go through whether you want to keep that stuff, don't you, for the next move as well. So it's emotional on that basis, isn't it? Everything you pick up, do I want to take this or not? And that triggers a load of memories, doesn't it? I'm working from home. I can decide to stay in PJs all day if I want to. So there you go. And we're supposed to retire. Went from 2,300 square feet to over 3,000 a loft maybe, with 3 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and 1.5. Listen to the Gumpers; they're a well-heeled bunch, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yes, right.
We're not all of us. Trust me. Well, we had fun because when we were Ferragudo, we had a bigger house. We had 3-story, 4-bed. And when we moved here to Algeciras, I made a really conscious decision that pick it up, do I want it or not, of really only bringing with us the things that we love, that we need, and that we wanted around us. And when we moved in here to this house, I love it because it's really simple. It's easy to keep clean and tidy. And I literally just have the things we love. And nothing else. And I haven't, all those boxes that you put in your storage, my argument is if you haven't opened it in 3 or 6 months, you don't need it. You don't even know what's in the box half the time. So why keep it?
That's very Marie Kondo.
It's lovely, but it's so freeing. It really is a really great moment where you just think, actually, I've just got what I need. Nothing more. Yeah. Simple, happy.
But you do occasionally, as soon as you've thrown that box away, you do think to yourself, where is my Parisian snowstorm ornament? And it's like, oh no, it was in that box. And you suddenly need it, don't you? You suddenly desperately need it, and you feel very sad.
What you were trying to tell us is you threw your knitted swimming trunks away, didn't you? And now you can't find them.
Well, there were other pressures that were forcing me to get rid of them. And I was not the local police.
No wonder you got stopped and breathalyzed yesterday. That's all I'm going to say. You were wearing them yesterday, weren't you?
In the Greg Wallace age, I don't know what to say publicly anymore. Quite frankly, I've been chastened by what's been going on at the BBC and MasterChef. Bondi Esquire from Bondi a todos from the Squire there this morning. Mr. S is in. Hugh, looking forward to downsize. We need to travel, but gird your loins for it. From what we're hearing, it's not an easy process. From Peter to Bayrandi, you'll always fill whatever space you have. This is an interesting point, isn't it? I'm not moving 3 houses, 6 bedrooms and 20 hectares, and it's filling up quickly. Yeah, and that's true. You fill whatever space you have, don't you? Yeah, another benefit of getting everything you own into a suitcase, a carry-on and a backpack. It was both therapeutic and liberating for me. That's how James moved here to Portugal. So yeah, make space to relax and get control of your life, which is what you're doing, Ali. Yeah. But if you make space in your home, you're just going to end up filling it back right up again, as Pete seems to be saying. Right, we have a lovely message for you, and I second this, and as I'm sure many others do, from Liz. Hello, everyone. We're sorry to say adios to my favorite combo of Ali and Fabrizio and Ian, but hoping it's only an au revoir, and we will see you occasionally. All the very best for your future plans. And that's exactly how we're playing it. That not a regular appearance, but whenever these guys want to come and see us on the Good Morning Portugal show here, they have an open door.
We will be back. Yeah. Also, because it's quite down, it's quite a let down when you commit to something and then it becomes quite, we cannot turn up this time and we cannot turn up this time. And it's just sort of, kind of, it's better like this. Exactly. For all of us.
Yes. Well, you as I say, you have a key to the studio. Come back whenever you want. And thank you, Fabrizio. I won't keep saying it's like the Hotel California, because that means something very different, I think. Isn't it? We purged almost everything we owned before moving to Portugal. The only thing I regret is that Persian ornament. What's that? Sounds like. No. Did you give it to the British Museum where it belongs? Okay.
With the Parthenon stuff.
It's the one you threw out. It's the one you threw out and then saw an Antiques Roadshow for like 2 million. It's like,
yes. And that's why we keep all these things, isn't it? Because none of them really are worth 2 million. But what if they are? Your memory will always. It's not the same, though, is it? The memory of the €2 million artifact that you threw away it's not going to cut it. You can buy yourself a 7-bedroom house with that sort of money. You'll always be filled with what you love, and then fill it back up again. Buy a big house, fill it up with more stuff that's not really worth anything ultimately. I would love to ask you about, before you go this morning, on this fond farewell that we're having, memories of Lisbon, memories of doing Snapshot. Let's go with you first, Ali. So it's been great, hasn't it? I mean, and that's why it's hard to let it go, I guess. But you're making time for yourself, other priorities. What's been wonderful about Snapshot?
Oh, catching up with you guys every month. It's just been such, I can't remember a month where we haven't giggled hysterically or come out with something outrageous that we just about got away with.
Yes.
Particularly your knitted trunks, I have to say. They're ingrained
They're
in my
worth 2
memory
million.
forever.
Yeah,
Especially
worth
the
2
photos you
million.
sent me.
Stop it. 20 years' time, that's going to be an offence, I suspect, isn't it, as times
I think
change?
it is now, actually.
It already
In
is.
about 20 years' time, mate.
It already is. Fair
Poor
enough.
Mrs. M, that's all I can say.
Oh, she's all right. But yeah, I guess she's glad I'm sending them to someone else. I'm not her.
Probably.
Anyway, a bumper edition to celebrate the is I mean, what are we calling it? The ultimate edition, I suppose, aren't we, of Snapshot magazine?
For the moment, yeah.
Yes.
We'll still, I mean, Dave will always go out with his camera. We'll always share things. You're showing the whole thing, aren't you? Goodness
Am I
me.
not meant to? All right. I
No,
don't
of
want
course
to
you can. It's fine. It's absolutely
I
fine.
won't deep dive. I want people to download the last one. It's a collector's edition.
No, it's fine. I think for me, the wonderful thing is all the connections I've made and the number of other, you've just seen like the recipes that come from Ivan every month and Rui and Joel for Practice Portuguese. The amount of connections and the people that contact me and say, can you share this event or can you let people know about this for me? And the amount of charity donations we've set up and supported has been really lovely. So I've enjoyed every month of putting it all together. It's not felt like work. Don't get me wrong. I'm not stopping because I think, I'm fed up doing that. Quite the opposite. I love doing it. But I just feel I need to just step back, give myself a bit of space because it just kept growing. I think it was 117 pages this month, something like that.
Bumper edition, absolutely.
But no, but I've loved every month with you guys because we always have a real giggle, don't we, about things.
It's definitely been fun. So make sure you get that edition, and we'll put a link into the notes so that you can get the final copy for the time being.
I've said to everyone, I've got so many subscribers, we will still send an email every month. It will just be an email with some links and pictures and the latest updates of what we're doing. So we will still keep in touch with people. It just won't be a giant magazine.
Fair enough. And are you making space in the way that you described that sage said to you and seeing what happens, or have you got some things you definitely want to be doing in place of all this work you've been doing on Snapshot?
It's a bit of both, but I've got an idea for a book and I just need some time. But actually, no, I like the idea of just literally saying, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yes.
Because sometimes that's where the best ideas come from. I think if we keep plowing on doing the same, you don't actually step back long enough to think, oh, I like that. That sounds fun. Let me see if I can do that. So it's a bit of both, but it's a definite slowing down, just take some time and see what happens. Quite exciting. I've never done that before. I'm a planner. You can tell that by the way Snapshot comes together.
Yes.
I've always had an Excel document 3 months in advance of all the different people that are going to fit those slots.
Wow.
So I've always known who's going where. So to not have that is going to be quite interesting, quite refreshing, I think.
And an unusual thing to make space like that. Like I said, we live in an age where people are tired a lot of the time because there's so much to involve yourself in, isn't it? To stick your nose into and to be attracted by. We do live in the most incredible age, and we can do so much now, can't we? Not just not just going tourism and doing things and experiences, but we've all got access to so many tools. I mean, you wouldn't have been able to just make a magazine, would you, 30 years ago? I mean, not without much more effort. So we can make videos, we can do photography, we can make a magazine, we can be on YouTube.
And we can do it all ourselves. I think that's the other thing. If you look at writing as an author, self-publishing 15 years ago didn't exist. If you didn't get an agent and you didn't get a publishing contract, you didn't get a book. And all those people take their cut. Whereas now you can go straight to Amazon, you make 70%, on all sales. That's pretty much the average line. Whereas if you are published by an author, you're lucky 10, 15%. Maybe.
Isn't it? Yeah, not many publishers will give you 70%. It's incredible. And so many temptations. And I
feel so, I think that's the bottom line for me. And Dave and I moved here. We've been here 14 years now. We gave up a lot in the UK to come here. Initially, we worked hard at building our own small, my art and Dave's photography and then my writing. We worked quite hard at creating things just to kind of cushion. We had Dave's pension. That's all we had to live on, which in the UK, we'd probably have struggled on a police pension as a sergeant, 2 people trying to run a house. We'd probably have both ended up having to at least work part-time. Whereas here we felt right from the start, if we live simply, we can just about survive on a 1-to-1 exchange rate with that pension. And everything we've done since has just added to that. And I just feel we worked hard and we're comfortable now in a very simple way. Don't get me wrong, we haven't got the 6-bed mansion and the stuff.
If you want one,
I don't need it. I didn't want it. It doesn't matter what you earn or how much money you've got. That's the other thing. It's the same as that house thing. You fill up the space. You spend what you've got. It doesn't matter whether you're on 2,000 a month or 5,000 a month or 1,200 a month. You will spend that. It's amazing how quickly you end up hitting the ceiling of. We've always been. I'm a fiend for our accounts to the penny, to the cent.
Really? You're one of those
to the cent. I have an Excel document. I have a Microsoft Money account that I literally every month I balance our accounts. I can tell you literally to the cent how much we've got in savings, how much and I put every month. So our gas or electric, all the the car, everything. I work out the annual and I work out the monthly, and we put that away into collect. My mum did it as a kid. We had envelopes in a box. And she put the money for the gas and the money for the electric.
Before it was
in envelopes. So I literally do it in Excel with envelopes. Basically, it's the same principle, and that's allowed us, I guess, to just sit back and go, "We're okay. We're not brilliant. Don't get me wrong, but we're okay."
That's a very reassuring.
I feel really happy.
Sorry,
That's a great place to be at. It's we're okay.
That's incredible. Go on, Ian.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you said that, Ali, about filling things up, because it's true that you fill your day up. We seem to fill our lives up with stuff, you know what I mean, as well. But it's physical as well as mental. You know what I mean? It's strange, isn't it? Because you do move into a bigger place and suddenly you start buying more and more things. You think, I've got enough things, and then suddenly, it's extra stuff. As humans, we seem to like to do that, and it's very hard to step back from that sometimes. Think, no. Actually, simpler is better. But where do you get that exercise?
Even with tasks, as Alison was saying, and it's actually very true, because we come from city. I don't know. Well, you're British in nationality. I come from there as a long experience of life of over 20 years of that. It's true that we get into this big game of being invalidated by how busy we are, or how many things we are, and being tired becomes, in sort of those pub or party conversation, a badge of honor, and it's not, and it's actually a big mistake. And luckily, on one fine day in different times, we all realize that we shouldn't really be. And if we are tired and over busy, it's because we should do all less or the same thing, but in a bit of more clever way. And so I guess is that. I guess is detaching from being invalidated or how many things you do, and because then you end up doing all of them kind of okay, and then one suffers because you should have given more time to one rather than doing 3 at the same time, and all this stuff. So Alison, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And you could bring a kind of it's a metaphor, isn't it? The cash accounting, the financial accounting. You could do that with your time as well. And I think the problem with that is it's like that feels boring and unspontaneous, but clearly it works with finances, doesn't it? So it could work, of course, as well with portioning your time, which includes rest and not doing things as much as like making sure every minute is accounted for with doing something. And the game I think you're referring to there, Fabrizio, is like inside, nobody really wants to play it, do they? But like on the outside, it's like that's the game that's being played. But on a quieter, more reflective moment, it's like, why are we all doing this? Someone needs to call a truce here, maybe.
I think
as well, the accounting one is interesting. What Alison says also, though, is because when you look at things and how much things cost, it is also another good way to reflect whether that's really worth it. If you look sometimes, you think, God, I spend a lot of money doing this one particular thing, and I never do it. And what benefits does it really bring me for all that kind of thing? I think that as well simplifies it. You're right, going back to when money was money, when people were like putting cash in an envelope to do something, you had a physical thought of like, it had to be there. Now it's like, I'll just up the limit on my credit card, or I'll just do this. You know what I mean? There's also people consume more things just to be there. So that also could chill chew your life down a bit by thinking it's just not worth it spending all that time to get that and do it.
Yeah. I always remember when we first moved out here, I said to Dave, I didn't realise I was a hamster spinning around on a wheel until I came to Portugal and actually stopped. And I think for about the first 6 months, we slept until 9 or 10 in the morning, which is crazy. We didn't have a dog then. But, you know, you get up early when you've got a dog to walk every day. But I suddenly realised how totally exhausted we were. And it wasn't until we stopped and I went, we were on that hamster wheel spinning around and I didn't even realise that's where I was. And it wasn't until we came here, and we came here purposefully to have that quiet way of life. And we really fought hard to keep that and to not fall into the traps that it's too easy to do. It's a really strange thing, isn't it? And we've joked, now we're getting a little bit older. I mean, bless, I've just had a birthday. Dave's got a birthday next week. We're both feeling a bit older. You do actually. Well, it's joke because he won't mind me saying he's 68 next week.
Really?
And it's one of his favourite songs he loves. Is John Mayer, the Continuum album. I adore it. But there's a song in that line. He says, "You reach 68, you renegotiate." And I thought, wow, that's a really powerful line in a song, isn't it? Because you're right. When you get a bit older, you do start pitching it differently. I mean, since I've had rheumatoid arthritis kind of diagnosed, that slowed me down for sure. And I look back now on the mad life that I lived in the UK, and I thought, well, I couldn't work now. I physically don't have days where I could actually get up and be out there and fight in the world. But I love that line, 68, you renegotiate. Really interesting.
It is, and a good rhyme as well. I guess you can.
You're spitting some bars there, Alison.
Mic drop moment on the.
It's about the only thing I'm spinning nowadays, mate. Trust me.
Right. This is really good. I think it's touched on a bit of a nerve or sort of realizations for people. Just enough is hugely better than not quite enough. T-Duck, also an Excel junkie, recalculating the budget weekly. I like to occasionally plan a day when I've nothing planned. So that day I just get up and do what I feel like doing. And isn't it interesting? Pete adds, those days are always the busiest. That can be true, can't it? Absolutely. Yeah. I declare a do nothing day from time to time, says James. Healing and liberating again.
But there's never nothing, is it? Nothing doesn't exist.
No. It's true. So even when Mr. S says, I do that every day, nothing. He's watching us now. And we don't like to be described as that. Thank you, Mr. S. I'm very busy this morning multitasking, says T-Duck. I'm watching Good Morning Portugal, the Lisbon Airport live stream, and the World Chess Championship Game 9. And look at this. I've been working on unitasking rather than multitasking, because that's also been a badge of honor, isn't it? I think you used that phrase, Fabrizio. I'm multitasking. I can do so much. And maybe we've got to peak multitasking. And
it's always on CVs with I give 110. Multitasking is always on CVs when you receive it. And I give 110%.
Yes.
It's always on CVs. And I work well under pressure, like writing the CV like anyone else.
And HR is saying, okay, well, we've got this person for 2 years, then they're burnt out and we'll have to get another one like that. I suppose that's the reality of it.
In the last 2 years.
Yes.
Carl, have you ever seen the cartoon? There's a picture of, I think it's a bloke walking with his dog. And there's two little bubbles above the head, and the bloke's bubble above his head while he's walking the dog along the river is full of all the work and the cars and the money and the things you've got to pay. And the dog has got a picture of him walking with his owner on a walk. That's it.
And I love being here with my owner in this moment.
That's it. That's all I do. And it's my favourite time of day is walking early in the morning with Zara crazy racing across the field now. But there's something about taking a dog for a walk. If you actually watch them and what they're doing, they're just enjoying the moment. Absolutely, completely in the moment. Not a care in the world. Going for a walk, stopping, sniffing, looking, enjoying yourself. And I've really taken that on board because it's my favourite time of day, and I try really hard not to let the world in my head. I do. The sunrise this morning was stunning, absolutely beautiful, and I just thought I can just stand and look at this for a few minutes. Yeah, that's all I need to do. Is just enjoy it. And that's we can learn a lot from our four-legged friends. I tell you,
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I think the world does get a bit crazier on the outside. We need to make sure we do that for ourselves, because no one else is going to do it for you, are they? That is the pressure of the world, is to have you busy and exhausted. you have to step in, don't you, with your own kind of spiritual sovereignty and say, this is what I'm doing now. Now, talking of, and we'll come back to you, Fabrizio and Ian, on memories of living in Lisbon and the last couple of years of us chatting here. But I found out this morning that Cristiano Ronaldo, number 7, is a cat man, talking of men and dogs. And then a T-Duck pointed out to me that's probably AI. So they're kites rather than cats, I think. And I fell for it completely. But I mean, there's no way you would get that many cats sat like that, is there? It just doesn't happen. Dogs maybe, but not cats. So I completely fell for an AI image there. And I still don't know if he's more of a cat or a dog man. So Fabrizio and Ian, happy memories, I'm sure, of Lisbon. As you go to Setúbal, tell us more about that.
Yeah, I think the way we don't feel like we're leaving because it is kind of close. So, it's not such not like the London move where you're 3 hours or 5 hours away. But I think what's nice about it, I think now, is that we know the city, which seems a bit strange, you're going to be moving away. But it does actually make it easier when you come back because I'm going to go there because I know there and I don't have to go there. And I found this little thing that's on that nobody seems to know about, because it always seems to be a bit of an impossible place to find anything, find information about. So I think that, it's great because it's changed us. We certainly have a very different aspect. Like you, Alison, we've got a very different aspect to everything now than what we did before. I think that we have learned a lot about Portugal anyway. I think it's been good to be here because it's been nice to actually integrate.
But we learn about ourselves and about other people too, and about the new people that we met and about the people that we already knew. And we seen from afar dynamics that we used to put into place. And also it's all been very empowering. Yeah. So to be in our late 20s and be able to
very, very late.
Very late 20s. Okay,
this is what I'm going to miss. This is what I should be missing.
It's fine. I'm not taking it personally, but it's fine. But no, it's been quite empowering, realistically. Yeah. With all the feedback that comes your way, and it's coming our way once again. Or what are you doing? Or what, and what is interesting, another thing, I've opened up a chapter to the closer immediately after. All this unrequired feedback of what you are about to do and how wrong you are doing this. No better other people, if they were in your shoes, will be doing. And my suggestion to go there is just to anybody that wants to do anything in life that is kind of a change the status quo. Listen to all these people. Go back home. Forget about it. If it sounds good for you, do it. Otherwise, you know what I mean?
Very good. Yeah, and that happens, I suppose, doesn't it? When you do something that scares
everybody knows a lot better than you. But all those ones that know better than you, and they actually tell you how much you're doing wrong, and you will regret it. It came to us as a London time. It came to me when I moved from Rome in 1995, and it coming to us that we moved from a place to down the road in 40 minutes time. And all those knowledgeable human beings that come to your rescue about they're all sitting on their ass. So I'm wondering.
That's right. And when you need help, I told you it would go wrong, but I need your help. No, you should have listened to me. Right. And talking of coming from Rome, this comes to mind. Look, this looks like a picture of some lungs, doesn't it? Not ventricles, whatever. It's looked like an anatomical picture. Yeah. These are the ancient Roman roads. Yeah. You're in very good company, Fabrizio, because look, this is what your ancient countrymen. These were their roads into the rest of Europe. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, it's quite spectacular, actually.
Yeah.
We watched Gladiator 2 last night.
And what can you? I don't know. No spoilers. But, no.
Yeah, it's a good watch.
No, it's actually a good film. I was like,
what?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I mean, there were some big boots to fill. My son's making me watch Mission Impossible, and catching up on sort of great movies, or the genre generally, action movies. He's getting into that. It's the age he's at, and I'm saying, look, I want to show you Gladiator. I want to show you 300.
Yeah.
And Gladiator 1, I think he needs to see that. I think it's quite a good thing for a young fella to see that sort of the heroic content of that.
Yeah.
But do you think he should see Gladiator 2? Have they done it justice?
Well, we watch at the IMAX.
Oh wow!
The reconstructions of the scene in the Colosseum and the animals, the costumes.
Yeah.
There's Denzel Washington. He's got some clothing. I mean, it's still super hot. I mean, I don't know all this Denzel by now. It's probably in his early 70s, probably not late 60s. No, it's still regal because he's always been. But now dressed as with all the togas and all this rocket. The clothes are amazing. They're gonna win something. The Oscar. They're gonna win something for costumes or something. But the story is very beautiful.
Yeah, it is quite bloodthirsty.
There's a lot of blood, so it's not safe. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Give him another couple of years. I mean, God knows what else he can see on the internet. I'm sure the Gladiator 2 is a walk in the park in many respects.
But nevertheless, what you can see now, a few aspects of that movie, that's good. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Okay, and were you exhausted when you came out, being surrounded by this in an IMAX?
So much testosterone and
really,
wow. We felt inebriated. We were flying all the way home.
Drunk on testosterone.
Oh yeah,
there's one or two gym buddies in there as well. Okay. A visual feast. Okay, fantastic. How long did you live in Lisbon? Is T-Duck's question to you.
So it will be 6.5 years when we leave. So it's just coming up 6.5 years.
The Lisbon years in the autobiography. Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I could
now, and I must say, I think the first couple of years were a bit. Sometimes we were like, oh, what do we do? Sometimes it felt quite exhilarating. So. First couple of years definitely bounced between those two, literally like hands in them, boing, between each of those things, and then slowly over time, we've now sort of got used to it. We know what to do. We know what to expect, and it is quite surprising how much you adapt to something like that because it's easy when it's in your own country because you kind of I moved obviously from when I was a child. I moved around quite a bit in my early adult life. Between London and Coventry and Birmingham, and so in your own country it's fine because you expect certain things and things are there and things work as you want them to do. And then when you suddenly come to this thing in the first little bit, it's like, oh, okay, how do you do this and how do you do that? And now it's kind of, oh yeah, I know.
You've nailed it, haven't you?
You've nailed it, and then you talk to other people, and you have that of course attitude. Then as I used to do in the UK, it's like anybody I met was like, oh well, of course you just do this because you know it.
Yes.
Now I'm like, oh, of course, you just have to do that. You'll be fine if you do this. You'll be fine. It'll work. So it's quite exhilarating, I think, to get to that stage also.
Wonderful. So happy memories of the Lisbon years. Happy memories of Snapshot magazine. I could sit here chatting and giggling all day with you. Got a few other things to share, including the advent calendar. So I'll say thank you so much. I'll say muito obrigado, adios, and bye for now. Basically, thank you so much, Fabrizio, Ian, Ali, for being here and your service to the show and the community. Really appreciate you. Really love you very much.
We actually have to thank you because you've been accommodating and entertaining and charming and interesting and a great conversation. So we do thank you.
Thank you, and not to mention the knitted underwear as well, Ali, to add to that list.
Well, I hope did you swing with them because I hope in a couple of years they will finally dry because
it's
that kind of knitting never dries. And I wouldn't keep any close to anything precious because
he's still wringing them out.
They're hanging on the back fence, hoping for a bit of sunshine.
Maybe in a couple of years they will finally dry, and that kind of item might go on the internet. You never know.
I've got it sussed. On our Horta, the local people, they all have bags and like plastic and CDs shining to keep all the birds away from the crops. They're missing a trick. All they need is
You laugh, but these can scare away wild boar. these knitted pants of mine. And I would offer to send you the pictures, Fabrizio and Ian, but you saw Gladiator 2 last night, and it might just be too much. It could just be too much.
Yeah, too much testosterone. Give us a day. Give us a day. Tomorrow.
There's a Christmas present idea.
Yourselves, lads. I've seen the pictures, trust me.
Okay. I can't believe I did that.
We need 2 days then. Okay, 2 days then.
Thank you.
Obrigado. Thank you.
And the final image from Snapshot for the time being, anyway. Look, wishing you all a wonderful Christmas. Couldn't say it better myself. And a fabulous year ahead with your projects and what you're doing. Ali, Fabrizio and Ian, thank you very much indeed for the time being.
Thank you, Carl.
Ciao. All right. Bye for now. Oh, it's horrible doing that. It's just taking people off the screen like that. It's like being in a Gladiator movie. But there they are, and they will be, as said, they will be back as and when they want to, when they've got something they want to share with our community here. Or how about by popular demand? If you're thinking to yourself, I haven't seen Ali or Fabrizio and Ian for a while, let's get them back on the show. We can send a message to them and bring them back on too. How wonderful! And a very happy birthday to Linda Austin this morning. Thank you for that reminder, much appreciated there. Peter, yes, parabéns, Senora Linda Austin, and a feliz aniversario to Linda Austin. Yes, send messages if you've got her WhatsApp. Say, we saw you, it's your birthday on a GMP. Happy birthday, Linda. And we can have a drink with Linda on Monday the 9th, I think it will be, won't it? We delayed our wine club this month, last month. And this month again. So it's a better date for us to do it on the 9th. We are exploring. We're pushing the boat out for Linda's birthday, and we are doing wines for €3 or under, which doesn't seem to be probably the best tribute to celebrate somebody's birthday. But I think she'll appreciate that, and we may well go beyond the Linda Austin 2-glass threshold on a few of those. Advent calendar to open. Pictures from Philomena in Yasorish. And one or two other things as well that are stashed in the picture deck there. God Squad tip of the day then. One of the delights of Portugal, indeed most of the countries in Southern Europe, is the continued importance of family. It's often been lost in the UK, which is sad, especially at this time of year. I try and keep in touch with all of mine, and that's no easy job from what I know of Coach Turner. Yes, difficult with 5 children, all with busy lives. They were all gathering for lunch on the 22nd, all 21 of us. Isn't that wonderful? As I've been looking at this week, social interaction is vital for good mental health, and being with family can be a big part of it. However, I would admit that sometimes I acknowledge you can choose your friends, but yes, indeed, that's right. And sometimes, boundaries and mental health and stuff, you do need to choose wisely. But interesting opportunities for personal growth whenever you're hanging out with family and some friends, as is how I'll put it this morning. Até próxima, from Squire of the Shires, and I think that will be to Ali and Fabrizio and Ian there. Our friend had a knitted bikini that her mum made her for swimming classes. She said the droop was, yeah, it's true. It's true. Especially if you've already got a pre-existing droop and that just accentuates it. Oh, that's my specialty, but I couldn't give you the brands of wine because I only read the price tag. Yeah, I'll have that $2.99 one. The one that the old guy in Europe drinks, please. Diane had a visit from the doctor last night. So now add to stethoscope, blood pressure band, blood pressure band and jacket. We have his hat sitting on the table. Oh, he just leaves things behind, just in case. Brilliant. There you go. That's some nice bedside manner and an adocino from Pam there for Ali, Fabrizio and Ian. I suppose at least he didn't take my residence card this time. Is that what happened? Oh, I think I might. Yes, very briefly. Got stopped by the police yesterday in Caldas de Rainha. I think it needs more than 2 minutes to explain, but suffice to say, it was a routine breathalyzer check. Not routine for me. It's not like they're always stopping me, but yeah, got stopped by the city police, not the GNR, but the PSP, the police that you have in town. Drove up to a roundabout in Caldas de Rainha and was asked to pull over on the roundabout, obviously, along with a few other drivers. Asked a few questions, got my document. The best thing was I got my document folder out. I'll say more about this tomorrow, actually. I got my $2.99, $1.99. That's vinegar. It's not actually Mr. S, as you'll find out if you join us on Monday. Yeah, it was at the station. This was at the roundabout in front of the station in Caldas. I think they're probably doing checks all over. And when I walked back, I was taking something to a computer repair shop, and I couldn't. There was nowhere to park, and then I just drove into this police stop. And I had to walk back. And by the time I walked back, they'd gone. I don't think it was like a, hours long police exercise. I just think they do a little bit. And interestingly, he said to me, it's for statistics. As I blew into the tube, and it said 0-0, and I looked at it, and it was 0.0. He said it's a draw. So there was a funny side. He was the frog fountain, absolutely right. It ended on a positive note. He was great. He was waving in through the car to the kids. He was, he was stern and professional as you have to be. It was a little bit scary, I have to say, but armed with my wad of documents, all in good order that I could just pass out of the window to him. That was great. Have you got your residency card? Have you got your driver's license? Please come with me. That was a scary moment where Mrs. M thought she'd never see me again, and I was taken behind a van to blow into the breathalyzer. And he said it's for statistics. So random stopping, checking on people, asked my age as well, wanted to know my age. And it was interesting. I had a sort of partly Portuguese, part English interaction. But I'll do a longer version of that, because it might be useful to let people know all the documents you need and how to play it, really, basically how to be in that situation for the most relaxing and least financially injurious outcome, which is honestly is what I thought would happen. That my understanding, my prejudice, my stereotype, if you like, was that whenever you get stopped by the police, you're going to be paying up something. Is it going to be an €80? Is it going to be a €200? Are they going to keep looking until they find something that they can fine you for? No, not that kind of business yesterday. I think we'll also hold the beautiful... Actually, I'll play one of Philomena's videos of... look at this. And a couple of stills, but this needs to be given more time as well. These are the most beautiful pictures that she's sending me at the moment from Terceira in the Azores, and I'll play a little bit of a video, one of her videos, and we'll spend more time on that. Oh, and thank you for the picture of Ponte Lima beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And that's not the frog fountain. Let me take that off there. That's a bit confusing. Time of day of the police stop, I think around... It was just as night was falling. It just got dark, whatever time that is at the moment. I can't actually remember that. 6:30, says Mrs. M, who's been listening by the door. Didn't hear me when I was shouting out for Eggs Benedict, however. You don't have to have one, as there are very little chance of a... What's that mean? Matty. Oh, okay. I think residency cards are just being asked for, and Matty is being... helped in behind the scenes there, which is fabulous. Ilia Terceira, right? Absolutely, Antonio F. And a bit of video of that in just a moment. After, of course, we've got to do our advent calendar today. Thank you very much, Deagle, for this one. If I go to the Good Morning Portugal, it's a good job there's not another presenter trying to come on like a radio station, right? We'd have missed the news and we'd be eating into somebody's next radio show by now in an Alan Partridge kind of style. That's where we stand at the moment. The first 4 windows are open. Two from T-Duck, 1 from Gav in the UK, 1 from Coach Turner in the UK. Day 5, the 5th of December. Let me go to, have we got a drum roll for this? I think we do have a drum roll somewhere. I've got to get on top of these jingles, haven't I? Because it's such a good... I do love playing the jingles, but I don't always remember to do it. So here we go. We're going to refresh. We are refreshing the website now, going to the advent calendar and refreshing that page and looking at Deagle's contribution today for the 5th. Sometimes it takes a couple of goes. The magic of show business. The drama. Right, here we go. Let's have another refresh of the website. Day 5. There we go. It's Elfvis. Isn't that great? Very simple meme this morning. Isn't he beautiful? Look, it's Elfvis, everybody. Day 5 of our advent calendar. Send them in to me on 913-590-303 if you've got a nice Christmassy meme, a Christmas meme. Do send it in 913-590-303. 4:30. It's getting dark in the UK. Yeah, we've got a couple of hours more of daylight at the moment, which is I'm very grateful for. I have to say, you don't need anything else. You can apply for a card after 5 years. That's more about Matty's questions, I think, about residency cards. Right. A German passport should do the trick, really, I would have thought. Anyway, I won't stick my beak into that business. I will simply play you. And then I will thank once again for their wonderful service and lots of fun we've had with Fabrizio and Ian and Ali. Go well, and wishing them all the best with their new projects and new places where they'll be living for Fabrizio and Ian in the new year. Let me just, talking of new places, let me just share this with you. In case you haven't been to the island of Terceira in the Azores, Philomena is going to take us there now. This is beautiful. And there will be more to come on this. And there'll be the Dream Team session tonight at 9, where I'll be with Expats Portugal. And actually, this is an important one. Tonight, we have a taxation special. And we've got our own little Portugal Club chat about this next Tuesday on the 10th of December. And there's a little bit of foreplay, pre-roll on that. Top 5 steps to master your US expat taxes. That's tonight at 7:30. So perhaps see you there if that's of interest to you. If you're not signed up with Expats Portugal, drop me a line and I can help you with that. Right, here we go. Let's go to Tessera, and I wish you a wonderful day. Take care. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.